show packed full of crazy news, including, well, stuff that shouldn't be happening right now. We'll be right back right after this. Today's show is brought to you by NordVPN. Use special code MARFUGL to get 70% off. All right, what is going on, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfugal News. Today, we have a ton to talk about. Just to let you know, we're going to be talking about, of course, the Suez Canal. I think I finally got it right. We're going to talk about how the Navy is now getting involved and why that matters. We're also going to be talking about the nuke that was spotted by the Brit spy plane. This is one of the unstoppable Russian nukes that is on top of course, NK testing theirs, China moving military gear around. Like, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. So we're going to talk about all of that and more on tonight's show. This is a live show, so just a reminder, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the team, including the mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you are not getting notifications, make sure to go over to marfugalnews.com and make sure to sign up for ours. We actually have push notifications that will go directly to your phone. Now, we back up everything we have here, so all of the articles that you're going to see here, you're going to have a source. You're going to have an actual place where you can go get those on our website at marfugalnews.com. So when you go here, it's going to be very easy to navigate. You just look for the thumbnail of the day, which is this. Is it all coming true? Unfolding events. And then, of course, it will say, was Wesley right, or was General Wesley right? Now, this is a famous interview, of course, that this is kind of referencing. General Wesley was interviewed one time, and he talked about a very specific event where he was kind of filled in on some stuff about kind of us possibly taking over some countries. And then really, I want to say 5 at least, or 6 have already been taken over and their leaders dealt with, if you want to put it that way, to put it nice. So all of those countries are the ones that you've probably seen in the news where, you know, people were hiding in caves and all of that, and, and then they were found and, dealt with. So we're going to go over all of that. All of the articles are here if you want to read all the way through. They're all here on marfugalnews.com. Now, remember, there's also web-only content for all the too hot for TV stuff and the, like, really crazy stuff. That would be on the website. So lots of kind of more of the charged stuff is there. We are going to be talking about kind of what I believe is most important here today. Let's bring in Dex. Dex is my co-host and internet brother. He is going to be manning all of the tech side of things. So what is going on, and how are you doing tonight?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Fugal fam. I'm doing just fine.
If you
survived that weather.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you didn't watch last night's episode, Dex was cutting in and out because he actually had tornado warnings for a period of about 4 or 5 hours. It was like 2 different warnings that passed through his area. Of course, tornadoes were just absolutely insane the last week. You had one day where I think at least 21 touched down. Alabama was hit really hard next to Dex in Georgia. Alabama actually had some fatal moves there with the weather. So praying for everybody that is still dealing with harsh weather. Of course, this is right at the kind of backside of all of the freezing weather that we had last couple weeks before that. Lola Cafes, thank you for your early support of the show. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you everybody for coming in. It is a later Friday night show. You guys are going to be up for this because this is really intense. So first off, let's kind of warm up, I guess. Speaking of warm and cuddly, toilet paper. This is kind of a trippy story here. Toilet paper is next likely victim of world container crisis. So the Suez, I think that's how it's, I've been saying Suez, and nobody's really called me out on it because I don't think anybody else knew either. But the Suez Canal ship that is blocking so many ships that all of these things that are being shipped around the world are being delayed. Apparently, toilet paper is one of them. And this is just kind of lame because, of course, we went through the CV thing and all of that.
And this one's kind of unique, too, because while Suez Canal does have an effect on it, that's not the only thing. There's a specific container that is no longer being used as much, and that's going to cause a pulp crisis.
So, by the way, of course, I'll cover this real quick, but I want to let you guys know kind of what's in store for you later this show. I actually did a live over on Marfugel News, and I kind of explained some of the reasons why this has gotten so serious and why Navy is now getting involved. So just so you know, now Navy is going to the Suez Canal and being deployed there because this has now become a security issue. The only other route around is to go around Africa, and Africa, of course, has the pirates. If you go by Somalia and all of these other places, you're talking about actual pirates, not the Disney kind. We're talking about any ship that goes through there usually has a military escort, or they have 50 cals and military personnel on their ships, and they on a regular basis actually have to take lives just to get through there. So this is really on the serious side. But on top of that, just the fact that Navy is being deployed stationary to go sit in the Suez Canal is in itself a mind-blowing thought, considering what we have heard kind of in the mill for now 10, whatever it is, 6-7 years, going back to what General Wesley said. Really crazy. I believe it was 7 countries in 5 years. So crazy stuff. Why is this all coming true? But again, this is, of course, it says Supply Lines is a daily newsletter, blah, 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 blah. It says the world really doesn't need more toilet paper problems, but unfortunately, the biggest producer of wood pulp, the raw material for products including bath tissue, is warning that the global crunch in shipping containers could start creating supply snags. Suzano SA primarily ships its pulp in cargo vessels known as break bulk. With demand surging for the ships that carry ribbed steel containers, the squeeze is starting to spill over to the break bulk and then threatens the delay of the company's shipments. Chief Executive Officer Walter Schalke said in an interview. Says, of course, that's happening at a time when demand for residential toilet paper has gone way up and consumers have taken to stockpiling and panic buying. Schalke is concerned that the shipping problems are going to snowball and only get worse from here. Significant disruptions to the pulp trade could eventually impact supplies of toilet paper if producers don't have ample inventories. So I would definitely stock up on it if you can, but don't go nuts. That's the whole problem that we're having is once this kind of story comes out, then everybody goes panic buying and then buys everything that they have, and then it actually compounds on the problem. It makes it worse. With CV, a lot of the people that watch my show were prepared because we had a lot of great people in the Fugel fam that were basically, telling people, hey, something is coming. If you watched my show, I was one of the first people to respond to the first victim of CV here. I believe it was in, I want to say it was Bellevue. I went over to the hospital where the first U.S. patient was, and I even got a nurse to say, "Oh, I didn't even know he was here." I mean, it was just nuts. So again, I have been covering it. I knew that it was going to be serious in the route that it was going to affect us. And a lot of people listened, luckily, and people were prepared for the first time that all of our store shelves were emptied. This could happen again, and that's why it shouldn't take an emergency to prepare. You should have everything that you need now, not for when this event happens or for when future events happen. If something really big happens, and we're talking about something that made September of 2001 look like chicken feed, you need to be prepared for that, especially if you're the matriarch or the patriarch or the leader of your family. That's a huge deal. So, of course, this is going to compound the problem. We're probably going to see gas prices and all of this other stuff now because of this ship. we are talking about some crazy stuff. It says releasing container ship from Suez Canal could capsize it. So this is a big deal. So a lot of people, including my wife, she has even seen all the pictures. She did not realize that it was physically stuck. She goes, why don't they just take in some tugboats? And I said, they have. They brought in 6 of them, and I think they at one point 12 or some crazy thing. But it didn't matter. They couldn't even budget. They could not move this ship. And this ship is physically actually blocking the canal, and they say it could take weeks if they don't get it on Monday or Sunday. Now, if that happens, we're talking about a delay of 24 days for most of these shipments because they will instantly have to keep going. They have to, especially with frozen food, refrigerated food, or any kind of food product. But we're talking about $400 million an hour is bleeding out of this industry right now. An hour. We're talking about it gets into the billions every 2.5 hours. That is insanity. Every 2.5 hours, $1 billion is being lost. Who is going to feel that? That's going to be us. They're going to get their money back in some round. They're going to say, well, this screwed us so bad, we have to raise prices. And we're talking about almost every company is affected. Even if there's a local company, well, my company doesn't go through there or whatever that. The company that supplies that company, or possibly their other subwing is now going bankrupt because of an event like this. They're going to then push off that debt onto some other part of their company. It says, while the global shipping industry bleeds $400 million each hour that the massive Ever Given container ship stays stuck in the sand in the Suez Canal, an elite team of salvors on the ground in Egypt are facing an entirely different problem. How do you make a top-heavy ship stuck in shifting sands weigh less without capsizing it? It says that they'll need a full survey of the seabed and canal bottom to see what the extent of the grounding is. The salvage master, who has miraculously led the removal of the Costa Concordia cruise ship in 2014, that was the one that was just totally stuck off the island of Giglio, told the Daily Beast, it says the worst case is that the ship is presently supported over her bow and stern areas, meaning possible sags in the middle. Now, those sags in the middle could lead to the ship splitting in two, Titanic style, spilling the fuel and cargo, which includes CV supplies like respirators and personal protection equipment made in China. I thought that was... Dex, did you know that there was CV supplies in there? Isn't that...
Yeah, I could imagine the biggest cargo ship that's just, that big. It's got a lot of stuff on it.
Probably has everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is so giant, you can see it from space. It's over 1,300 feet. This thing is the size of a skyscraper. You can see it from space, no problem. You can't see, just really, you have to see these things in person. I mean, look at the picture of this. That is a huge bulldozer with a tiny person inside, and it's nothing compared to this ship next to it. And this doesn't even give you a really great perspective. So they've been digging and digging and digging, and that's not doing anything. This isn't working. People go, well, why should we care? Well, now they're involving the Navy. They're bringing in the Navy, and this is a big deal. I am personally just like getting the chills thinking about the Navy going over and sitting as a security issue over in the Suez Canal. I've been watching this for years and going, oh, I've been waiting for something to happen in this canal specifically. And now it is. That would just be so like over the top if that is actually what happened. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to watch the 7 Countries in 5 Years interview. We're not going to play it here. It says the information used to determine how to lighten the 200,000 metric ton ship enough to nudge it out of the sand, which buries the vessel a little more with each passing tide, will be largely based on the ship's own records, assuming they are correct and not fudged to pass what most call the Maritime Anti-Corruption Network, once called the most corrupt port system in the world. So we're also talking with, mind you, We're dealing with a corrupt system that they know is corrupt. So corrupt that they just assume it's corrupt and people are fudging paperwork. That tells me that there's a good chance that something fishy is going on here. I mean, how much do you really need? Donkey Redhead 664 says, "Hey Marv, 84 people are being monitored for Ebola in the U.S." I got that story on here. Thank you so much for the heads up, though. 4 of them are here in my state of Oregon. Could this be a distraction or a setup for a Fantastic Freddy? You will see. I'll let you know what I think in just a minute here, actually. Thank you for that comment, though, and thank you for the support. Suez Canal. Satellite image reveals extent of traffic jam behind stuck ship. So once this ends up loading, you'll see this is really, really, really crazy stuff that we're talking about here. Renegade PD says, highly blessed. What is going on? Thank you guys for your support. Zippy Moons, thank you for showing up at the live over on Marfugal News. Make sure to share that out. Fabulously Freaky Fugal Friday. Mods, Mrs. Marv Dex, thanks for giving us a straight poop. Yep. Oh, yeah. All about the scoop and the poop. Life is better on stilts. Good to be here. Thank you so much. I love Dosh Hounds. Of course, Chicky R. Gone Girl 777. Thank you so much. A-Train 17 says, thank you to Dex and you for your hard work. You guys do just what you guys are. A blessing. Oh, well, thank you. It looked like you had to cut some spaces out of there to make that work. That's hilarious. Everyone pray. Yes. If something was to happen, not to mention we have stories right now today of them spotting the nuke, the unstoppable Russian nuke. We're talking about some crazy, crazy stuff here. So let me see if we can view the original here. The satellite photo is not working on here, but it is the Twitter. Does that have it? Dex, I don't know if you're there, but let's see if we can.
No, did you scroll down on that one?
I did, but it's just loading.
Okay. It wasn't there.
It's just loading, and it's not bringing. Oh,
it should be below it, but okay. Yeah, the Twitter is about the Navy.
Yeah, it just won't load the page at all. Let me see. Oh, maybe it did. Okay, so check this out.
It had a crazy image there that was fooling you. I don't like it when they do that.
Well, it actually had the loading. It was, I don't know what it was, but so here's the blocked ship. You can see right here. And then there are several ships that kind of have staff trying to work on this thing. And then down here, you can see these are all giant viewable from space cargo ships. Look at that. And they're all just parked like that in formation. So now they're sending the military. Any one of these could have something crazy. And then not to mention the kind of stuff we've covered before where we now know that multiple countries have these container missile type setup systems. So I just wonder if there's any chance that something could go down. It's always a what if in the back of my mind. So here is the ship from space lodged up and blocking the actual canal. It's crazy to think about the scale of this thing. Each of those little dots down there is a full-on container that's as big as, the front of your house. That's another container ship right there. Look at that. So this is one of the biggest container ships there is. I mean, look at that's. It's twice the size as this one, and that's like a normal container ship that you see out in your port, and it's giant. This thing is twice as big. I mean, that is just. You can't even put a scale to that. The fact that you can see these things from space. Unbelievable pictures. Now, I wonder if we can. I'm going to see if we can. I wish we could just play that clip of General Wesley. It says, this was a tweet, it says, the U.S. Navy in the Middle East plans to send an assessment team of dredging experts to the Suez Canal to advise local authorities attempting to free the gigantic container ship, which has been there since Tuesday, according to 2 defense officials. Now, other sources on Twitter say that they are sending at least a team, a strike team. So you're talking about military ships over there, quiet little kind of deployment over to this thing, and then boom, if something could possibly happen, and that's just, again, speculation or a kind of a what if, think about what has been said for the last 7 years. And think about the very specific scenario that was almost like, how would they do that if that was what would happen? And by the way, a lot of the things that we said, oh, it's really crazy if this would happen, because they kind of said it out loud like 5 years ago, and then those things happened. Think about our shows on the CV. We were able to tell you about this event that we are all covering for. We were able to tell you 4 months before it started. We had, in fact, devoted a whole month telling you that a pan was coming. So it is all right there in front of us. If you want to protect yourself against EMPs and solar flares, again, we always have to put this in here. Again, make sure to go check out EMP Shield right now for the next couple weeks, or it might actually be sooner than that the sale ends. You can now combine our discount of $50 off per device with their discount of upwards of $50 off per device if you buy multiples. So again, if you do buy 5, you can actually get upwards of $100 off per device. So don't pass that up if you are trying to do multiple vehicles. This is definitely the time to act. Again, we believe that this will eventually save lives or save money in the very least if one of these events happen. Again, this can protect for solar flares like the Carrington event, which we are overdue for and will happen, or an EMP, so a man-made E1, E2, or E3. All 3 phases of an EMP happens from any enemy country or even ourselves on accident. Who knows? Again, marfugelnews.com/EMP. Remember, you can actually get multiple different devices, one for your generator, one for your car, one for your home, one for your ham radio. They make a device for every type of motor or engine. So electronic involved. So check that out. All right, so we're going to talk about this. Brit spy plane spots Putin's Russia testing unstoppable nuke that could reach U.S. So why do we have all of this stuff happening? And we keep showing you it, and people are still like, oh, nothing's going on. All of it is going on at the same time, and they're not even hiding it. They are doing the drills. They are putting military equipment all over the world. We're going to cover something here in just a second. China basically pushing their biggest signal out there that they're going to take Taiwan. And it's all just in the last week. Now I'm going to go over and see. Dex, just let me know if you have somebody, and I'll fix stuff. But otherwise, I'm going to keep going. And then we have.
I do.
Okay, let's get our first caller on. I don't have the screener, so if you want to introduce them. Again, The Real Sif, thank you. A-Train, again, thank you for your support. Gone Girl, thank you for the prayers and the support. Veteran Steve, nice to see you as well. Again, thank you. Lots of special things coming.
And Adam, we have Yinzer Prepper on.
All right, Yinzer Prepper, you are live on Marfugel News.
How you doing, Marf?
So, what's happening today? What do you want to talk about?
I just current events, just everything I'm seeing. Now would be the time to organize. This is just tips and advice. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but even if it's close family, now would be the time for everybody to just top off what you need: gas, water, food. Organize with people you trust. Don't organize outside of anything that you don't trust. Just it's right now it's going to get. I'm thinking in the next 6 months it's going to get pretty hairy.
Well, and think about the gas. The gas might go up extreme. So if you have extra vehicles that are just kind of sitting in your yard that you have for that purpose, make sure to top those off and get them well. The gas is, of course, normal high prices, which is over $3, $4, whatever it is. I wonder if we could see $5, $6 gas. I think eventually it will happen. I'm just wondering, could that happen as a result of some of these things that are going on?
It honestly wouldn't shock me. It really wouldn't. Right now, in southwestern PA, it's going $3.10 a gallon.
Oh,
in
here
some places I've seen.
Here it's $3.50 to $4. We've had 401, 405 at several places, and premium even higher, which is insane. We're talking about $5 a gallon.
That's terrible. But it's just preaching to the choir for everybody. But I'd imagine just now would be the time to get organized. Like, I have a mag going 8 to 12 people plus families. We have once a month meetings. It's now would be the time to organize your communications, where and when, and timelines. It's necessity right now.
Now, Yinzer, you're in Pennsylvania. Did you ever, when we had our Discord up with our actual state meetings and our state groups, did you ever meet with the Pennsylvania group?
No, I wasn't on Discord. That's when I first started listening, and then shortly after the Discord went down. It was only a couple months until the Discord went down. I wish I would have gotten into it earlier, but...
Well, again, that's too bad that we're working on a replacement, and I hope you get to join that, because that ended up introducing a lot of people. There are now people that have been friends ever since we started it, and now are friends in real life and go fishing together and, go over to each other's houses and hang out. So there's a lot of great people in the Fugal fam, but again, I love your tip that says, make sure you know who you trust. Don't, again, when you are talking to people online, people have this kind of wall. They think they can do everything and kind of, have no remorse for it because it's done blindly behind a keyboard. But trust me, you want to get the good people that you really, really trust for this stuff. If stuff goes down, it's going to hit us on the side of the head.
That's exactly it. Don't brag about your preps on the internet. Don't brag about your preps to someone you just met. I've made that mistake, but luckily they've left the neighborhood. Anyone else around here, they don't know anything about what I have stored up.
Well, I see a lot of people say about their property too. People go, I've got 22 acres and it's right here. Don't tell people where you're at, because people will come right the second things go down. I really wonder about, people with property. How are you going to set up kind of defenses? That's something that people don't think of either, is actually having kind of systems to know when somebody's on your property.
Oh, we've talked about that too. We're still talking about it. If we can split up, say one person wants to buy 40 acres of land, it's going to cost unprocessed land, what, 50 to 100 grand at the cheapest, depending on what state you're in. Well, if you divide that up amongst 15 to 20 people, now you're only paying $2,500 a piece. But you just get legal terms if you want to do that. Just write up a contract between everybody. Just keep everyone cover each other's rears. You know what I'm saying? And
just kind of have a plot somewhere, kind of like a bulk Costco bug out spot. That's actually that's a great idea. Well, Yinzer, thank you for calling in, and I agree with you. I think that now we need to find other people and start lining this stuff up. It's never too early.
That's it. That's exactly it. Now would be the time to get everything lined up, and just everyone keep your head on a swivel and keep your eyes open.
All right.
Even a little event could mean something bigger.
Yinzer, perfect call. Thank you so much tonight. Yinzer Prepper, if you want to check him out, I believe Yinzer has a channel. Any information pertaining to callers will be on our website down at the very bottom. It will say caller info. So If we ever have BP Earthwatch or High Impact or any of the YouTubers call in, their information will be down at the bottom. Now check this out. Brit spy plane spots Putin's Russia's testing unstoppable nuke that could reach us. It says a British reconnaissance plane that monitors Russian war game in the Arctic and Moscow confirmed it has now completed initial tests of Putin's deadly new missile. It says reports say that the 6,100 mile per hour, I believe that's at least Mach 3, Zircon hypersonic weapon has now been fired a total of 4 times and from the Admiral Gorshkov frigate and will go into service next year. It says Putin sees the Mach 8 Zircon as his missile of choice to target American cities in the event of a nuclear conflict. It is claimed. And then it says a British RC-135 reconnaissance aircraft was circling the skies where the Gurkov was sailed off the Kola Peninsula and reported this. So it says it was the second time in a week that a British spy plane had buzzed an area of the Barents Sea to snoop on Russian-conducted missile tests. The Gorshkov had been expected to fire the, quote, unstoppable weapon this week, but the Defense Ministry only specifically confirmed supersonic Onyx missile launches from the frigate, which hit a target off of Zavea Zemyala. So they're testing nukes. They are literally launching right now. All of our enemies are now drilling and testing this stuff. And you could chop it up to go, oh, well, it's just preparedness and all that. If they're doing that, we need to be prepared. We need to be prepared for anything and everything. That's a thing. It is built into us as human beings to not think that this is ever going to happen. Get over that. And don't be afraid of it. Hit it like this. You have insurance on your car. You have insurance on your home. You have insurance on your life. Why don't you have insurance for your family and your I guess your happiness and your comfort level? Your comfort level could just be cut into nothing. Think about the stores and everything else. You need to have store insurance. There's not going to be stuff at the stores. Stores are going to be empty the second the lights go out. If this happens, everything is going to be empty. So people need to prepare now. Military in my own family say the exact same thing. Get your stuff ready at all times. Have a bag near the door. Have your stuff ready. Good ways to hide stuff like that is if you have one of those shoe boxes by your door, one of those things where you kind of sit down. It's like a toy chest, but it's right by your door underneath the coats and where people hang their stuff. What we have is a box, and that toy chest kind of box thing, you tie your shoes or whatever else, that has our bags in it. So at a moment's notice, we can go to the door, boom, grab bags and get out the door. It's how we got out in 15 seconds when the earthquake happened over at our last place. We were out the door. I was in my underwear, but I had all of my gear. And I was literally in my underwear. I did a live stream the second it happened, and I was worried. I didn't know what was going on. I actually checked with people. I checked with FugelFam, like, what was that? It didn't even feel like an earthquake. The ground dropped. But the point is, we got out so quick. It was incredible, and I was really proud of us. We've worked together, and we've tried it out, and we got all the kids. At that point, I think at that point I only had one small child. Now we have 3. So we're constantly trying to redo our stuff. Heavens knows they are. Their whole cities are doing drills like this. They have whole city drills in all of our enemy countries where they're going underground or they're going to shelters or finding shelters. Right now, we, of course, want to pretend like nothing's going on and we're the most powerful because that is our thing. If we admit that, we should be worried, then that's saying like we're afraid. We don't, but that's the thing. The United States and U.S. people and people in Europe and Australia, you have to realize that that's all kind of our own kind of puffing our chest, because we have a chest to puff. But right now, they're changing the game with technology and with this different stuff. Not to mention, if they possibly, and it's just an idea of many, if they did infiltrate into different positions, if they hacked with SolarWinds and made employee badges for people, because I don't want to remind you of this, but they hacked into very specific places, into sewage companies and into utility companies. Dex, isn't that right? They literally hacked into regular, kind of government jobs, hacked into the place, specific places. They're like, why did they hack into, payroll, into HR, into things like that, where they could make positions and make jobs? Why do you think they would do that? It's like, it's pretty simple. They could make a badge for somebody. They could get somebody clearance. That was before SolarWinds. That was just regular states on a state level. They were getting into those systems and getting people in. That's the setup. Now SolarWinds is the largest hack. It's gotten into all 5 of the military branches, and you don't think something's coming? The Pentagon was hacked. All of the big corporations were hacked. There's some force out there that is so giant, we won't even comprehend it when it happens. That is my personal opinion. You can have yours. It says that Russia outsources disinformation efforts to foreign troll farms. They're just like we covered with China. China has over 1 million people on the internet doing this Ganda, right? 1 million employees on the internet playing with things, changing stories, changing how popular things are, making things rise to the top, making things look fake or make things look real. 1 million people, all answering to one person up at the top of China. Is that crazy or what? Now Russia is now outsourcing all of this stuff. Apparently, this is allegedly from Roll Call. It said, former spies operate for profit, quote, persona management consultancies, sometimes called reputation management companies, including one called Archimedes Group, which role was highlighted in Atlantic Council report in 2019. The group was hired to try to influence voters across the globe. Facebook removed dozens of accounts operated by Archimedes that had been targeting audiences in Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia. Facebook took down accounts because they push what the social media calls coordinated inauthentic behavior. Essentially, activities by operators pretending to be real people and spreading disinformation and manipulating truths. So there's 2 sides to this. If they're trying to start the whole Russian bot thing again, that's one thing. Because a lot of people don't actually believe it was fully about that, right? Whatever is going on, I don't care what the truth is who these farms are behind or who they're trying to say they are. I don't care if it's Russia, us or China or whatever. Just know that they're manipulating things, and that's why none of us trust anything. That's why you have to be skeptical about everything. That's why we even put our notice. We say this because even when we're covering, New York Times, they do retractions. All of the agencies do, because they get stuff wrong, or they blatantly get stuff wrong on purpose. Sometimes they don't correct it. At least if we cover something wrong, we will correct it and do an episode and actually correct it. A lot of these places don't. Sometimes they will when they're forced to. Sometimes it's by law or by court order. Like Veritas just had some. He just had a Daily Beast retract something about them. But the point is things are being manipulated digitally right now everywhere. Homesteading in the Heartland says people being watched for Ebola. Yes, we will get to that. Oh yeah, if you think we missed that, you guys are crazy. Did they receive the JAB? Previous CVC studies show 33% rate in animal trials, which is the same rate as Ebola. Homesteading in the Heartland, I definitely, I'll be honest, I didn't see that connection before you said that. Good comment. Joshua Hathaway says, Adam's right. Just because the United States has never had foreign troops invade doesn't mean it isn't possible. Keep your head on a swivel. So again, it might not even be an invasion. We might not need an invasion to completely collapse. If we have our lights go out, if all of the power goes out in a massive grid just blackout, we're going to screw ourselves far quicker. If we don't have water, it's going to implode from the inside. All they'll have to do is come in afterwards. Think about that. Look at what they've actually done in the last 2 years. They've hacked into everything that there possibly could be. And who knows? Maybe the people you think are hacking are actually watching the people accusing them hack themselves and then do all of this, and then afterwards they point the finger somewhere else. People think that there's that the people in charge have some sort of like what do you call it? Oh, remorse. There are people above the people you see on TV. There are names that you do not know. There are people richer than Elon and Bezos combined. They are old families that have ruled over multiple conflicts. WW2, WW1, Civil War. All of that. Crazy stuff. Joshua Hathaway, when I went on deployment in the Navy in 2010, we traveled through the Suez Canal. Our ship, the USS Nassau, had Egyptian tanks following our ship as we went through it. Hopefully they can remove the stuck vessel. Pray for us. Again, it's a very important thoroughfare. You would want to control that if you wanted to do something, or you would want to stop it up if you wanted something to pop off somewhere. Guess what? It would take them a month to bring their serious Navy ships around. It would take us a month to get reinforcements to the Middle E. Just want people to think about that. If something popped off in the next week, it would take them 24 days delayed to go get there. They can't just go over land. There's no, drawbridge. Armor of God, Tavola God LLC says, thanks, Marf, for my shout out in December 2020. I've really grown. I shout you out all my videos. Check my videos the last couple days. Armor of God, I will. Thank you for your support. And then Human Tiger says, canal blocked. Missile hits I ship. U.S. Navy going to canal. Coincidence? So I wish I could put that on screen. Missile hits an I ship. The is real. Yeah. Witch's Brew, thank you to Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. D. Barefoot Lass says, you can't have a positive life and a negative mind. That's true. Donkey, Redhead, thank you so much. Appreciate your support. It is very true. We also have to be prepared. Now check this out. China flies at least 20 conflict planes, and I say that on purpose, in Taiwan airspace. This is the most planes that they've flown in this area, and again, 20. This is downright a practice. It says at least 20 Chinese military aircraft entered Taiwan's airspace on Friday, according to Taiwan's defense ministry. It says why it matters. It's the largest incursions by China's Air Force since Taiwan's defense ministry has announced almost daily Chinese military exercises into its airspace per routers. Remember, China has actually created the cap of Taiwan. They have made a drilling kind of practice grounds and replicated it that we can see from space. They made a practice grounds of how they're going to take it over. And they're practicing on it, breaching walls and doing all this stuff. They're doing all those drills. So we know they're practicing. This is proof they're practicing by air how they are going to take it. Crazy. Dex, are you there?
Hey, Adam.
So we've covered all these different kind of things that have happened. We've never seen 20 planes fly over there. That sounds to me like that's like out of a movie where you see 20 military jets fly over. That's go time. They're practicing for go time.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I've got another piece of information I just picked up from, and I'll put it in screener if you want to look at it. It's from a site that we don't normally show on the show, but it's talking a very similar event with a lot of Chinese ships amassing in a disputed area, like tons of them.
Okay, let me
put it up in there. Hang on one second.
Kevin C., thank you so much for heading over to PayPal during the show. A good captain of mine always said, 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Get backups of your favorite items for the inevitable. Believe it or not, I haven't seen any plane farts on Kauai much at all. So Kevin C., and it's like, you see, we have so many military in our midst in this group. We have enough information just in this chat room. Amazing people in there. Thank you for your service, Kevin, by the way. Okay, so let's see here. Pam B., thank you so much for your support over on PayPal. Franny Cascadia says, thank you to you and yours, Dex, and the mods. Hard work. Truth, yo. And then Blue Homemade Heaven, thanks for all you do. Please check out my Etsy shop at Blue Homemade Heaven. If you guys can, that's a Fugel family, and that was actually a message that they knew people wouldn't see publicly. I guess, people kind of do. But, so make sure to support Fugel fam businesses like Blue Homemade Heaven. They're trying to get their art off. Oh, and while we're on that subject, jstone78.com. She is a painter. She's also one of our mods, longtime mods, one of our longest. She has put thousands of hours into the Discord when it was open, keeping everybody happy and everything. She actually is a brilliant painter. Make sure to go check out her website as well. I'm really able, and maybe mods can put that link in the chat somewhere. I'm rarely able to catch the live shows, but I'm happy this is the second one in a row. Thanks, Adam, Dex, Mrs. Marf, Mrs. Dex, mods, and Fugel fam for all you do. Keep up the great work. Troy G., thank you. Troy, again, thank you, and thank you for your support over on PayPal. Okay.
Did you get that link?
Yes, I'm pulling it up right now. No way. Okay, so check this out. Philippines alarmed by more than 200 Chinese ships massing in disputed waters. This is 3 minutes old. If nothing else, the blockage of the Suez, and by the way, every time I say whatever, this platform got it 3 minutes ago. I'm sure somebody had it an hour ago. If nothing else, the blockage of the Suez Canal by a massive container ship has served as an unwelcome reminder that choke points to global trade, like the Straits of Hormuz, that's another one, or the Straits of Malacca or Straits of Gibraltar, represent geopolitical risks and haven't perhaps been fully appreciated by investors. It says, of course, vulnerabilities to global trade extend beyond these narrow choke points. For example, the South China Sea. The United Nations Conference on Trade and Development estimates that roughly 80% of global trade by volume and 70% of value is transported by sea. Of that volume, 60% of maritime trade passes through Asia, with the South China Sea carrying an estimated one-third of global shipping. Under President Truman and the U.S. Navy intensified to check growing Chinese naval power in the area. And just the other day, a U.S. spy plane flew closer to China's coast than ever before. Well, in a concerning sign that tensions might be able to come to a head in the region, Reuters reports Philippines leader Rodrigo Duterte has complained that Chinese ambassador about Chinese naval forces that have been massing in the area. In recent days, international concern has grown over what the Philippines has described as a swarming and threatening presence of more than 200 Chinese vessels that it believes were manned by China's maritime militia. The boats were moored at the Whitsun Reef within Manila's 200-mile exclusive economic zone. So within their 200-mile where they claim as their water, where they're basically their land under that water. When you have land, you have 200 miles from your coast, and you call that your waters. Wow. We have footage showing nearly 200 Chinese vessels in Philippine waters. The government has demanded China to withdraw these vessels. So think about that. They are amassing all of their ships. And what's crazy is just last night we had this huge display. Everybody in Washington saw this just unbelievable, they said it was space junk. They ended up saying, what did they say it was, Dex? Do you know what? They said it was part of the SpaceX?
It was a failed part of SpaceX, one of the rocket components or something that was supposed to come back in a certain way, and it didn't. It ended up burning up.
So can they prove that?
Well, we have an article on it.
I know, but can they prove that?
I don't know if they can prove it other than SpaceX says it was theirs.
And SpaceX, who's completely and utterly contracted to every part of the government, the Boring Company, their intelligence company, their now Tesla is now making batteries for grids, and of course SpaceX directly contracted with the government and military and defense against hypersonic missiles. Did you think about that? SpaceX Starlink has hypersonic sensors for hypersonic missiles. Do they have something up there, and can they knock something out already? And then it just so happens in the same 3 days that happens that everybody's testing nukes. Same 3 days, 200 ships are amassing. Same 3 days, the major route to get to the Middle East is blocked by a ship that supposedly had a blackout, and then they changed their story and said, no, there was no blackout, like power outage to an entire cargo ship that beached it like this. Speaking about the distrust in media, did you see the video of our local newscaster here in Phoenix, Kari Lake, resigning? Noel Turna, no, but I'll check it out after the show. You've now grabbed my curiosity. Definitely going to check that out. And then Loyal to the Foil says, Marfugel TV, China has been bullying all their neighbors, especially Philippines. They have also been launching simulated attacks on our fleet in our area. Loyal to the Foil, are you over there? Are you in Philippines? I know we have viewers there. Percentage-wise, very low, but crazy, crazy stuff. I think people are starting to see what we're talking about. If you want to protect yourself against a cyber threat, I would highly recommend getting a virtual private network. If you don't know much about computers, this is one of the easiest. We actually went with this one because I'm not a computer geek. This is one of the highest rated and easiest to use at the same time. Once you download it, you just press on your device, which again, this can actually work for not only your phone, it can work for your tablet, it can work for your computer. You just download it. It pretty much does everything for you. You just click an on and off toggle. And if it's on, it's hiding your IP address, so nobody knows where you are, which will be very, very, very convenient coming soon to a tracker near you. Go to NordVPN and use the code Marfugel to get upwards of 70% off on virtual private network from Nord. Again, that's marfugelnews.com/VPN, and also support independent media such as us. So thank you. All right, let's grab our next caller. Chris is on the phone, And it looks like wants to talk about shipping containers with missile launchers are likely already here. Chris, what is going on?
Not much. How you doing, Mark? Adam?
I am doing good. So, what is happening? And yeah, so you know about the. In fact, I'll show a picture of what we're talking about.
Okay. Let me get back here to my screen. They are called. Let's see, where's it at? Club K is what they're called, and they're already here, sitting here under corrupt administrations that was hell bent on corrupt, destroying America. I'm sure you can get to, but they're called Club K, put out by Russia back in 2010, 2009 is when they started coming toward the West. But there's a lot of them on storage, shipping container ships full of shipping containers, but they only give the appearance on being a shipping container. And their main goal is it's like the military riding around pretending to be import exporter. They fire their missiles from the from the shipping container, from the ship itself. They ride around. They just basically do circles, and everybody thinks they're just shipping containers. But they're all missile launching systems with cruise missiles. And there's a company in Russia that sells these things, and AGAT is the name of the company. But they're not the only country that has those here. They're scattered all over the U.S. They come in threes or twos. It comes with the missiles itself in one storage container. The other one is the launch systems, and then there's another one with a drone that you can launch to excessive damage or use it for tracking.
Yeah, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is a reality that's actually been around for a few years. But now, think about how this could be used. They've talked about how trucks can grab these containers. So you can go by sea, by land, even by air. These can be dropped out of planes with parachutes out of huge cargo ships and dropped anywhere in the world. Now they're talking about dropping containers like this from space, which then brings you into like, why do we have Space Force? Why do we have these defenses? We've talked about this about 4 months ago. They said that they're going to be able to drop weapons anywhere in the world within 30 minutes very soon. That's the U.S. military. Basically stating how their spaceships will be able to drop.
They already have them.
Yeah. I believe you.
They already have space-based weapons. They've had them there for probably a decade or more.
So, again, now they've confirmed that they exist in a press conference just a few months ago, to the public. Most of us kind of have thought for a long time, we kind of knew, right? In fact, we knew. But so on top of that, what do you think is going to happen next, though? Do you think they're ever going to use these things?
Well, I don't think that they put them here to not use them. There's sleepers everywhere in the country. From all of our enemies have sleepers here. That's just a fact. So you just name one of our top enemies, you bet they have at least 1,000 or more sleepers, probably in the tens of thousands, all over the country. And when it's time for something to happen, they're going to launch the first attack. And while they're busy with them, our military, police is busy with them, the rest of their military will probably come here. They got the missile systems here to take out a power grid. Whatever they need to do, they can get it started right here. They don't have to invade. They're already here.
Yep, and they say just the I country has 1 in every 100 that was in this recent group. This was a recent story that said 1 in every 100 that was in this recent kind of convoy of people coming into our country from the South was a sleeper cell from that country. And I was thinking, that's just nuts. But this has been going back years. This is an article from 2018 saying, I-backed sleeper cells have infiltrated the U.S. and they're ready to go. And I paraphrased, go there. And
it'll only take about. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It would only take 4, maybe 6 tops to take out the power grid of a major city.
Yeah, I've heard at least 9 locations out of the whole country can knock out our whole thing. By the way, I think it's funny that on the side of this exact page it says FEMA is hiring. I don't know if any of you caught that. Which I've seen these ads everywhere, which is funny. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and what you're saying is completely correct.
I'm looking at the webpage I'm on is wearethemighty.com, and it's showing all about these things. It's an article that was done in 2018, but it shows the name of the company. They started in 2010 in Russia, and Russia and China, and the I country, I guess you would call it. They've been meeting with each other the last couple weeks, the last couple months. They just did a 25-year deal with the I country. Hezbollah just met with Russia. China just met with them. I mean, all of our biggest enemies are converging with each other. I mean, something big is happening.
There's no doubt about that, Chris. Well, thank you so much for calling again. Don't be a stranger. Call back again, all right? I would love to hear from you again.
Okay. Also, if you don't mind, I'd like to say one thing about the Ebola.
Okay, go ahead.
Steve Quayle said for the last 6 months, Steve Quayle's been talking about Ebola, saying that that's going to be the next big C virus, and it's supposed to be really big, attack people a lot stronger. And here lately, I've been hearing more and more about they're tracking it here, they're tracking it there, here in the United States. I mean, they're just building it up slowly, and then I think it's going to hit all at once. And this is probably the one that Bill Gates said that everybody's going to pay attention to the next time around. So everybody should start getting themselves networks set up, bug out locations away from major cities, because they will be the first to go down. But you guys have a good night, and I'll call back next time.
All right, well, Chris, you have a great night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. I agree with his sentiment 100%. In fact, I don't think there's a... other than the Ebola that we have later on in the show. In fact, Washington state officials here, this has actually probably been updated by now. Somebody said 84. I don't know if that is true. I know that it was also in Ohio. So this is being watched or being monitored. But could that be the next thing? I don't know. Because Ebola's come and gone many times. Just like all these other ones that kind of came and went. The CV, that stuck around, right? Or the results from it. People actually asked when that happened, well, why didn't we do it for all of these other events that happened, like this that's happened multiple times? We actually had somebody pass away for the first time just a few years ago in the States from it or something like that. Dex, I don't know. You were with me. I think you were with me when we covered that. Were you not, Dex? I think that was right when you started with me.
Which topic? I'm sorry.
Ebola.
Oh yeah.
When it happened in Texas or one of those
and they brought him back.
One of those countries. Yeah. So this is
it's like I don't understand why you would do that. But I guess obviously it worked out, but it just seemed pretty dangerous.
Yeah, and they tested the experimental thing, right? Because currently, let's say here, I guess if you were doing like a study on how to scare people and you were using one movie, like say Jaws, but you played Jaws so much that people weren't afraid of Jaws, I guess would you change the movie and say like put on like, Texas Chainsaw, something like that? Would you change the movie up so then you'd get that scare again? I don't know. Maybe. How the Pentagon accidentally funnels millions into the militia groups it's also fighting. Again, this is I would love for you guys to go over and check this out, this article, but there is so much proof and just obvious, blatant stuff. It's like, how do we end up supporting our enemies through all of these different venues? And not to mention, we're not even talking about like CIA and the trade that goes on between countries illegally and the weapons that we give countries and then end up arming them and then end up fighting them later on. The thing is the public does not know half of what goes on. And if everything was transparent, we would go, wow, we are the most messed up country and they're the most messed up. Humans in general are just disgusting. Hate to say it, but think about the things they do. They take people's lives for gain in multiple areas. It's a cutthroat thing. It's incredible. They take leaders out. They have secret operations. What is really just blows my mind is what if you had a book that just had all of the secrets of everything that the CIA, NSA did? What if you just had complete open book? What if you were like an Edward Snowden and had access to that system and just knew everything? Wouldn't that just blow your mind if you found out, all these events that you watched on the news that they said was the complete opposite? That's the thing. They have trained civilians to basically think, oh, well, it happened on the news. 10 news agencies confirmed it, so that's what happened. Remember the story we covered the other night about how they can insert memories? If they show you enough things, you go, that's your memory. That's how it happened. But then get this, they can change your memories. They can even insert and delete those memories, show you another picture and go, no, you must have been mistaken. That was a Mandela effect. That was something else. But I mean it. They can say, oh, it happened like this. Oh, no, it actually happened like this. And they'll show you new pictures, and you'll forget the old pictures. Because memory is a funny thing. Think about, for example, think about your childhood. How much can you actually remember of it? Or are you remembering kind of little snippets here and there? Think about remembering last year. It's really nuts how this whole thing, the planet works, how life works. Dex, do you have anything to say about how we funnel millions into their group, or do you want to leave this for online? And then I'll
Hey Adam, I'm sorry. I'm back.
Do you want to say anything about how we funnel millions, or I was going to point them to the website?
Yeah, I mean, it's just big bureaucratic stuff, but bureaucracies do stupid things or make mistakes, and apparently we just continued funding somebody that we are actually fighting. It just makes no sense. Obviously they figured it out, but it took time for them to figure it out. And maybe it isn't just big bureaucratic mistakes. Maybe there's something more nefarious behind it. But go take a read. It's an interesting.
It's about $2 billion in Pentagon awarded contracts at the Air Base since 2014. Basically, they say we're helping this whole system go on. So go check that article out. It's on marfugelnews.com. Definitely a good one. And then SpaceX rocket debris creates a fantastic light show in the Pacific Northwest sky. Personally, I think of SpaceX as a wing of the government now. They're directly in there. So I'm just saying that looked pretty crazy. And there was multiple explosions. I talked to some of my friends who saw this in real life. I would have saw this if I was outside. I was doing my show when this happened. Or I was preparing for it, or I was inside. The one time that I'm not like out at this time with my nice camera, I missed it. But I talked to two friends that I had that saw this, and they said it just kept exploding, and they smelled it. So there's a video that's going around Twitter where the lady goes, "I can smell it." She's not the only one. Multiple people smell the smell. So they're saying it was debris from SpaceX, and most people just go, okay, that's it. I don't know. One, with all the asteroid stuff we've talked about and my theory on that. But two, all of the stuff that's going on today and in the last 3 days. And I think about how SpaceX also has a system to detect hypersonic objects. Why is there so much stuff falling out of the sky? It kind of gives credence to the statement, the sky is falling. Human Tiger, again, thank you again for all of your support tonight. Armor of God, thank you. Loyal to the Foil, thank you. Ilea says, whatever happened to the caller under alien control? The guy who sounded like Matthew McConaughey. Love that guy. I hope he's doing okay. ML, much love, fam. Ilea, I don't know. Sometimes people call in for a while and then they just stop calling. I do remember exactly. I got him confused with another caller, though, too. He was all right. I think he started a channel, and now he's doing his own stuff. Breaking, Adam. Event in Virginia Beach. Not sure of the details. Received a notification on my police scanner app. So there's been several, and it's just crazy how the time lines up on all of this while things are getting passed. David Miller, I will check it out, Joshua, and we'll try to update. Dex, if you can, check in on Virginia. There is possibly an event going on right now. And then David Miller III, hey, a bit off topic, but if you need tech help with your new platform, let me know. I'm more than happy to lend a hand. Keep up the great work. David Miller, thank you for offering that. And then Dan Sean 1 from Europe. Thank you so much for your support. You can always write a messenger. And then Thomas the Fam, hey, what's going on? Says it's why they're trying to take our dingy dangs. Thomas Fam knows what I'm talking about. Our dingy dangs. That's why they're trying to take our dang dangs. Trying to take our dang dangs. What? Never call it that again? Okay. I won't. What? There's nobody standing there? Oh, okay. What? Oh, so I'm talking to my... Okay. Severe weather outbreak, kill 105 in South, leaves widespread damage in parts of Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. This is exactly what I was talking about in the beginning. I am praying for everybody that is in that area. Those tornadoes, of course, passed by Dex. Luckily, by Dex. Dex, I'm so glad that you were safe through all that.
I kept saying when I was on the show last night, it looked like it was skirting around us. We did get a big bad hit of it right after the show. But that one that skirted around us hit a town called Noonan, which is right below me, and it's the next town over, and they got hit really hard. Fortunately, I don't think anybody died from it, but yeah, the downtown area, houses, everything, cars, it looked like a disaster zone. And I think they said it was an EF4.
Wow.
Which is pretty strong for here.
No, that's big. I mean, what is 5 the highest or no?
Yeah. 5 is the highest. That's those really, really monstrous ones you see in
The mile
in the
wide
Midwest. Yeah.
The ones that
And
eat
it
up
really, it
whole
doesn't matter
cities.
how big they are. It's how fast the wind blows. It's how they measure it. So, here we got a lot of hills, so they sort of bounce, which is the trouble with tornadoes around here is they bounce up and down. So you never really know where it's going to hit, where you don't get to see it coming either.
Yeah, that would definitely not be fun. Let's see here. So if you were a part of that, if you have good footage, remember on marfugelnews.com, you can go to play my video, the tab up at the top. It's about the 6th tab over, for, right past contact. On our website, you can submit your video, and we'll show it here on the show. If you have any crazy video footage that you have not shown to anyone else, send it there. Again, go there right now and upload it. Let's see here. Almost 2,000 on DLive. Actually, one of the best nights lately over on DLive. Thank you, everybody. And it looks like somebody just went insane over on DLive. Cynthia Lynn just did a ninja. Says, have a wonderful weekend and get some rest, Adam. Love to the Fugel fam. Cynthia Lynn. All right. No more echo. Cynthia Lynn, you are insane. Thank you so much for the support. We are truly independent. We do not have a multi-channel network, so your support is super appreciated. Let's see here. Also, Cynthia Lynn is now on top. Gone Girl is in second place. Thank you, Gone Girl, for continuing to support through thick and thin, and thank you for just being here. You don't have to do anything to get anything here. Everdazed and Jimmy Shively. Again, thank you again, Jimmy, for your support this week. A-Train 17. You are appreciated. All right. Moving on to this last part that everybody's been yelling at us in the comments. Again, I know about this, and I've had a friend that supposedly knows one of the people that is being monitored. And I wonder if I can get an interview with this person. But basically, they say that health officials in Washington state are monitoring 23 people for Ebola. And I believe this has been updated, right, Dex? There's more people now? It says after they returned from Guinea and the DRC, or the Republic of Congo, 2 West African countries that are currently seeing outbreaks of the dangerous infectious disease. It says there is a low risk for people in Washington, but it says that the 23 people will be monitored for roughly 21 days following their arrival to the U.S. It says there is an outbreak of EVD in Nazakori, Prefecture of Guinea, and North Kivu Province in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Centers of Prevent has issued a order requiring airlines to collect and provide the cat with contact information for passengers who were in Guinea or Democratic Republic of Congo within 21 days. So these people are not people that are having symptoms or sick, but some of them have traveled to that area where they had that crazy outbreak. And again, some people believe that this may be a serious issue here some point. A couple years ago, we had a very close call with this where they monitored everybody that came from a certain place. This is a much scarier one. We've seen movies and, actual depictions of what Ebola does. Ebola is scary as hell. Not fun.
And the numbers, Adam, those are correct for Washington, but there is 4 more in Oregon. And I think, like you said, I'm looking right now, I see 40 or more than 40. Ohio health officials are monitoring more than 40 residents.
Wow, that is incredible. So, Armor of God actually said, Passover tomorrow, watch the sky. There's a lot going on all at once. Not only just physically, but spiritually as well. That is a good point. We could call you AOG. Or is that too close to AOC? I don't know. That might be bad. So we'll watch this story. I'm going to try to get an exclusive. That would be cool. I guess it's somebody who's basically traveled there. So I wonder, I guess I don't want to be a part of the story, right? But we could do a Zoom call, right? Do something like a Zoom call with them and say, I just wonder if they had any interaction or if the government there has said anything about it. Is there warnings when you go there saying, hey, you might have this, or I don't know. I don't think it would be that interesting because I don't think they actually, this isn't because they've contacted with somebody with this, but who knows? This might pop up. And I would say more so, instead of paying attention to any one story, pay attention to your own. Pay attention to your own story. Pay attention to how you are prepared for anything. Pay attention to your food stocks. Pay attention to your water, especially your water. They say 90% of us would perish if we lost power or if we had an EMP, something like that, go down because of water. The lack of access to fresh water. I think it should almost be a law that everybody should have water, or should be at least everyone should have water, tons of it. And if that was the case, if this did happen, we would be able to get through it. It wouldn't be fun, but we would be able to get through it. The stores are going to be empty, and after that happens, there's no supply chain. Supply chain is done. Especially if they take out all the routes. Think about if they had a massive kind of hit that took out all of our deliveries and all of our supplies of anything imported. That would be absolutely horrible. All right, Dex, let's get our next caller on. Looks like Judah. Judah, first-time caller in Portland. And looks like they're looking for, they're calling from Oregon. And while you get Judah on, I just want to say thank you, Loyal to the Foil. I am the 1 foot N5D channel. Maybe was set up the infrastructure, tracing passports before we see the real event. Maybe EVD. What's going on, Judah?
Hey, Adam. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. So what's going on today?
So I was wondering if I could get your personal opinion, and nothing more than your opinion, on what you think is the best move, given everything we're encountering, everything you're talking on, on your show, whether it's the Suez Canal or the virus or whatever you want to call it, about what to be doing in terms of preparation, because everything is going up in price. Shortages have been here and they're going to get worse. Even the sheet of plywood is going up in price. You name it, it's all going up. Holding on to $100 isn't going to be worth $100 in a month. Personal opinion, what do you think is the best thing to be storing up and acquiring right now?
My personal opinion is non-perishables and tradables that last a long time, salt and things like that. But as far as, I think that I am in a very big circle of friends who firmly and utterly believe in silver and gold because, if the computers all go off, they're not going to lose it. They're going to have access to it. And it will be something tangible. Sure. But they all say that they should have the low kind of quantity gold, not like a brick of gold, but little tiny things that you can break down into multiple things. So, smaller pieces of it and the smaller coins of silver. That's personally the advice I got from people who I trust.
Okay. I hear that, and I do a little bit of that myself. But, if you listen to all the good folks such as yourself on YouTube and many other platforms, that people talk about beans, bullets, and Band-Aids and all the things you ought to have. But, in all reality, 2020, I think, showed us that it's, the year that Americans couldn't get things. Whatever that thing was, you suddenly found it in short supply. And while silver and gold are a great investment, and I do it myself, they're meant to get us things, right?
Yep.
So that being said,
I would say
opinion,
bottled water.
What are the things?
I would say bottled water, and if you have space for it. But you in this case, you would want to think of things that are very tiny, that people would absolutely need. And we're talking about a real event. Salt shakers, if you had a salt shaker like this and it's truly the end and there's no supply chain, we physically have to have salt to survive. If a human doesn't, salt is one of those things that if we have a deprivation of it, it's a really bad thing. So that's something that I would think you could store a whole lot of. I mean, we have a ton, but we don't even think we'll ever use as much as we have. But I would think of items along that nature. But I mean, my thing is that we just collect. And I'm not an expert, but that's what I've been told to do, is just keep collecting. And someday, it's like if you build it, they will come. I've been told by people that I do trust and they do know, they said, just keep collecting. Just do a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Because we're not rich. We have to do things on a budget. So like I watch Alaska Preppers videos and I base buying decisions on, what money can we spend on it right now.
I hear that. I like that guy a lot. He's got pretty good things to say, I think. I appreciate his format.
He's the same person on and off camera. If you guys have not checked out Alaska Prepper, go tell him that Marf sent you, because that guy is a really great guy on and off camera. He really does take his own time out to help people. He's really amazing. But yeah, I guess that's my opinion on it. I collect. So if people want to know what I do, I grab everything. And then when I see things on sale, I grab it. But I'm grabbing like stuff that I make sure that is good for 5 years, 10 years, stuff that's shelf life is long. I look at all that. My wife doesn't. I sit there and I look at the dates on cans. I do all of that. So I'm almost OCD about getting the longest shelf life out of everything. Because think about it, you can trade
a commentary maybe to your audience, if you don't mind, is
go ahead.
Stimulus checks. Whatever they're coming to you at, whether it's $600, $1,200, or the next round, or so on and so forth. If you throw $600 in a drawer, it's not going to grow overnight or over the course of a month. But if you bought a sheet of plywood, it's worth more money now. If you bought a gallon of gas, it's worth more money now. If you bought, you name it, it's worth more. My encouragement to everyone, and I'm taking my own advice, is if you have money that you can spend, buy something that you need, because it's going to cost more later, and you will not be able to buy it with those same dollars.
Yeah, inflation. It's going to be worth a whole lot less very soon. Yeah, I get you. No, that's great advice.
Yep.
Well, they say...
cool. Well, hey, thank you.
Somebody said that if you take that $600 and you put it in, there's all sorts of different options, and they're talking about that. Like, the people say if you don't absolutely 100% need it, don't go buy out an Xbox. Put that in a bank account, and you will not regret it 10 years later or 5 years later.
Well, I would agree with you there, except for the price of everything is exceeding anything you'll ever get out of a savings account. I live in the state of Oregon, and an empty soda can on the side of the road is currently worth more money than you'll get in interest on a savings account. It's kind of a sad state of affairs.
And what items, could you grab and then hold on to, and they have the same exact value, if not go up? It's like those resources that you need to use. I don't know. It's a great question, though.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate you taking my call. This is my first time calling your show, and I really enjoy it. Thanks for what you're doing.
Hey, well, thank you so much for watching, and I really do appreciate you. And don't be a stranger. It doesn't have to be your last one.
Yep.
Judah, thank you.
Yep, thanks.
That was Judah. We actually have Geneva, another first-time caller right behind, says...
No, I think I marked her first time. She's been on before. I apologize.
Oh, okay. All right, good. And then... Okay, so let's get Geneva on, and then I'll open up this link that they have. And then we can talk about it. We can talk about it. All right, so from Colorado, we have Geneva.
Hello.
Hi, Geneva. You're live on Marfugal
It's
News.
called the
Hold on 1 second, Geneva. Pause this autoplay. All right, you're on.
Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
I'm great. So what are we looking at here today?
Well, first, I would like to acknowledge all your callers and your group of subscribers and let them know that they're all the most intelligent, warm, and well-informed on many topics of any platform I've seen.
Oh, well, thank you. And now everybody's thanking you right now, so that's awesome. You're so what?
Well, they're welcome. Well, I gave Jax a video that I think he's going to post the way to get to it. The reason I thought it was very important for all your subscribers to go to this is because I received it, and this was maybe a week and a half ago, and it only had like 750 views. And today I went to look at it, and it has 1,125,000 views. And the person is from the country it is, and it is she is wanting to get some information out. And I think you guys, Jack said you guys might have talked about this, about the band for the CD.
Yes.
Okay, well, she has a lot more information about it. And so if they're interested, they should go to it, because I don't see it being up there very much longer.
So I wonder, there was a clip of a lady and it was being passed around. I wonder if this was, so what is happening over there is they are doing some serious changes because of this current event that we're all going through. And they are basically saying it is so bad there that they're trying to get it out to the world. So I do believe people need to watch this video, and that is insane. It is at over 1 million views, obviously went under the radar and got out to everybody. And that means everybody was sharing it. This was not something that was, put on the recommended. This was shared, physically shared.
They already shut down her, the fake thing on her website, the fake website. And so I really think that people should go to this and pass it around. It's really disheartening the way that, things are going on with that. I mean, it's like people aren't being treated like people anymore.
Wow, that is I will have to watch this after. I believe I've seen a clip of it, but I heard the clip of it, the audio from it. This has gone viral for sure.
Yeah, I think it's about 25 minutes long, and I've had to watch it 3 or 4 times to really catch everything. It's just, it's like, to me, it's like I felt like she was talking about cattle and not people.
I know, it's incredible what they are, and that's the model for here. You realize that, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
I'm really terrified for my children. My children. Just to be real with you on this, this really scares the hell out of me for my daughters and my new son. I just think about just in a few years, they don't get anything I got when I was a child. I had a horrible childhood. I mean, so many just messed up things happened, and I feel like that would be better than what I can give them in a good home because of what is going on in society right now. Is that scary or what?
It's very scary. It feels like something from the Twilight Zone.
Like, would you rather, I don't know. I mean, I would rather grow up with, alcoholic, neglectful parents than grow up with good parents in this day and age.
Yeah, the thing is, Marv, I can tell you have a lot of love in you, and I think that love will overcome that.
I physically can't stop some of this stuff. Sometimes I wish I could.
No, I know we can't, but we can choose to love each other and be kind to each other and pray, because in the end, that's what's going to be the best thing that's going to save everybody.
Well,
it's good to pass this word around.
I really love your call, and I recognized your voice right away. I really loved your last call to Geneva.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for calling in, and thank you for sharing this wonderful video with everybody.
Yeah, I have a joke for you, but I think Dex said it wasn't appropriate, so you can ask him about it later.
Okay. You know what?
Okay.
If it's postable, for those that are curious, we'll post it on the website in the caller
Okay.
thing. So we'll get the joke out there if it's I have a feeling we'll be able to get it out there. But all right. Well, thank you so much,
Okay.
and have a good night.
You too. God bless you.
All right. God bless you. This country is going through I mean, we're about to go through this. If you don't see the massive changes about to happen, I don't know what to do for you. People are sleeping so hard, and the snooze button is being pushed so many times. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. All right, God, thank you. Loyal to the foil. Hey, thank you, AOG and LTTF. Thank you both for being active supporters tonight. Cynthia Lynn, Gone Girl, thank you, and thank you over on DLive. Jimmy Shively, Zippy Moons, and Everdazed, you guys have been the top supporters tonight. Zippy Moon says, sounds bad at Virginia Beach, sending chaplains to command post. Pray, pray, pray. I agree with you on that, Zippy Moons. Dex, do we have an update on V to the A?
Yeah, I just was able to pull something up, and it seems like there's a bang bang going off in that area.
Now, how are we talking about Colorado level or less? Because if it's less,
I don't have any numbers like that would explain, other than it's just they're responding.
Let me ask you this: the people that are supposedly the ones doing this, they are most likely going to be found to be the people that are against, regulations, right? Why with the previous events, and then they see, oh, now he's really coming down strict. He does a speech on it, then it happens again. Now we're going to go after 3D model parts. Then then they're like, well, then I'm going to do another one. Well, I can? What do you mean? Well, no, because it's illegal the whole time. Nothing's going to change about this person's drive to do that. And why would they do it now to just drive the last nail in? I really want it to be restricted. It just doesn't make logical sense. Why would these people do this? My uncle said something earlier tonight. He said basically that they're happening all the time. It's just the coverage. The coverage gets raised up or lowered down. That's his opinion. Again, that's just an opinion. Don't be offended by smelly opinions. Okay. Jimmy Shively, Everyday, thank you guys. Seriously, thank you for everybody that's been here every night. Just amazing loyal audience. Like she said, you guys are the smartest, most intelligent, beautiful people out there. Just amazing people. Last Diamond. Oh, Gone Girl, thank you. Thank you, and thank you. We've got Amanda B up in the house. Edgy Whalen. Bear Claus, thank you for the lemon. Jenny Texas. Maui Racing Realtor, always in the house, of course. And then we've got Sandy. Tartan Grammy. We've got Jumpmaster. Charlie64. Old Chunk of Coal. Kishara is here. One Adam 12. Red 1987. Lots of great people came tonight. Cynthia Lynn, what a nut, went crazy with a Nin Jet, the highest compliment on DLive. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you. Dex.
Great show, brother.
Thank you so much for everything you do, and bless you and bless your family. Bless everybody here, and you guys have a wonderful night. I hope you heed the message of preparing. Yep. Now it is officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It is a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to all the people that matter most to you, and where I make a goofy song for the top contributors of the night. Kind of Mark Riboulet style. I use a looper and do that. A lot of people have been asking, like, what? I don't get it. Is it just music? It's just me in the background with a looper and my dumb self. Let's get funky.
Walking on the street like a G.I. Joe. You know that man has some flow. Walking on the street like a G.I. Joe. You know that man has some flow. Walking on the street like a G.I. Joe. You know that man has some flow. Walking on the street like a G.I. Joe. You know.
Got the Shantai, thanks for the scene, man, Linda Covington. Oh, thank you for supporting me. Rely on the JASC. Repent for all your faith in me. I'm a bad I got a vehicle, I'll bring it back. I know what food on M5D on the top. Oh, bring it on the back with the Shantai. On the idea and all of that. Oh, Joshua, on the way. I'm going back now with my fade away. I do the papa. Got the Maui racing wheel and turn, David on the Bentley. Do it with the Empress, 46 in me. Bear claws in the BFN chicken. Bring it right back now, Stewie be kicking. Hey, Steph, mommy, fun size cam. Bring it right back, Bob Dobbs says, damn. For now, truth seekers, everybody wanna group out. No Kenny Crowder and Lisa R. Hall. Running returns and everybody fall. Kelly on the Henson, Bob on the Dobbs. Mama of 3, grabbing all the dogs. Oh, now we gonna go for a walk. R-Jacks, everybody got the Laura Griff. About to drop it on down. I'm not lying, but I got ya. Oh yeah. Got this stoplight on my body, go die. Todd and Granny, everybody gonna fight. Grand Paraman and everybody don't mind that we stop all this crazy on can. Don't I? Gonna love ya. Cynthia Lynn, Cynthia Lynn, bring it right in. 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 I've got the dike and the boss and the ice out granite. Gonna bring it back now. Oh, who in your Grammy? On the count of everybody thinks it's funny. On the WC and the Bob Dog. Rick and R, everybody gonna fall. I did a hot ride, bring it on the power. Oh, got the candy crowder. Bring it right in on the Cynthia. Cynthia, Cynthia, oh Cynthia, Cynthia, oh Cynthia. I fell all the way back down with my friends and my non-loyal to the foyer. Armor of God, cash hack, I on no backpack. Gonna go down like they go lack. On a lackluster trade, I bring bang, go feel before. I got the funky, I've got the lovely, I've got everybody going real punky. Brewster, that is, do it like this. Oh, now they say all this was just a phase. Going through the phase, now we case. Next joint, oh, oi, oi. Linda Covington with the Shanjack. Linda Covington, I'm an off guard at that. And the lawyer to the foyer, and the ringers on the boy, I got. Let the go down, Sawyer on the boy, I. Joshua Hathaway, thank you. Joshua Hathaway, homesteading in the heartland. Witch's Brew, Barefoot Last, Human Tiger 72, Donkey Red Head. Thank you, everybody, for supporting tonight. Jammer 1, Scanner said 3 taken to hospital. Thank you for the update, Jammer. Last but not least, Ganga, yes, all you know well, Ganga, it's a new world. Ganga, reminds me of the old world. Wish I could Veteran Steve. Shout it out for Veteran Steve. They've all loved me. I've got the L-O-V-E for my homie Veteran Steve. I've got the L-O-V-E for my homie Veteran Steve. I've got the L-O-V-E for my homie Veteran Steve. I've got the L-O-V-E for my homie Veteran Steve. I've got the L-O-V-E for my homie Veteran Steve. I've got the L-O-V-E for my homie Veteran Steve. Bring it right back, do it like this. Do it like this, then I do it like that.
Duck Hawk.
Got the nana that bright LG wearing. Everybody's gonna get chipped him. No fanning on the sunny beach, girl. Jimmy Shirley, oh so lively, oh, oh. 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 Zippy moon, flying to the moon. 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 Got the zippy moons flying to the moon, everybody know. Got that one, got that two, got three, and four you. If it wasn't for that mockingbird, I would be so absurd. If it wasn't for the mockingbird and the tartan granny and everybody out there in the planet, I would be a little willy. A world news all going down a gas electric light. Jonesy 707 got it right. Right. Got all my friends out here. Got my witches brew and my bear factory. Got my donkey red head and my 664. I got my Marley Shelvin and my rest is more. Chad the other guy in the Lola Cafe. Oh,